My name na Bills Victor from Inside Africa Network. UNDP, wey be United Nations Development Program, don join hands with Yiaga Africa to gather youth dem wey don reach to vote for dis 2023 elections for Nigeria. On the 13th of May 2022, United Nations Development Program and Yiaga Africa start one project wey dem call 60% of Us, wey dem wan use bring at least 60% of young people wey don reach to vote together so that dem fit to register, collect their PVC wey be their permanent voters card for dis 2023 elections. As e be, for every year, 4.5 to 5 million Nigerians dey enter 18 years for age. E mean say 18 to 20 million new voters go don dey from 2019 general election go reach 2023 general elections. This one now na the chance wey youth get to choose the next people wey go lead the community if dem join vote, as dem plenty so. Mohammed Yahaya, wey dey represent UNDP for Naija, bin talk say if young Nigerians and women join hands for this election, e go help bring together change and good governance.
You've seen historically that since 2003, there has been a decline in participation. And one of the recurring themes is that many young people feel that they're not included in the political process. They're not there is a cultural and economic, essentially, barrier for young people to participate in the social and economic life in this country. One of the things we always say that is change in a democratic society comes through the ballot box.
Him still say to get better change for Naija politics, e go better make them give youth wey sabi chance and opportunity to show wetin dem get.
Haɗin gwiwa tsakanin Yiaga Africa da ƙasar baki ɗaya wato United Nations shiri ne mai kyau na zaɓe don tabbatar da cewa matasa sun yi ta bakin zarin zaɓe shugabannin Najeriya. Tare da shigar waɗannan manyan hukumomi guda biyu, kada matasa su kasance a baya a harkokin zaɓe. Musamman tare da yakin neman zaɓe 60 cikin 100 na matasan da suke kankanci zaɓen shugabannin na gaba a shekarar 2023.
Even though say people between 18 to 35 years of age, they make up the 51.1% of voters wey don register, only 46% bin comot come vote for 2019 general elections. But we fit correct am now if we fit use better sense wey go make people comot come register and vote now. The 60% of Us project go take this chance for 2023 election to create way to get access to information for people wey dey do better things wey concern everybody, including Power of 18 challenge.
Ọ bụrụ na ndị okorobịa na agbọghọbịa ga-apụta n'igwe bịa tụọ vote, ha nwere ikike ịhọpụta ndị ga-achị obodo Nigeria. Ikike ndị okorobịa na agbọghọbịa nwere dị ukwuu karịa ihe ha chere n'ihe gbasara ọchịchị obodo Nigeria. Kama, ndị omekome nọ na ọchịchị ji ọchịchị nchigbu na-apịgbu ikike a. Oge eruola mgbe ndị okorobịa na agbọghọbịa ga-eji olu dara ọkpụrụkpụ kwuo ihe ha chọrọ ka o mee na ọchịchị Nigeria. Otu ụzọ enwere ike jiri mee ka nrụapụta ihe bụ ihe ndị bekee na-akpọ Project 60% of Us.
The Power of 18 challenge na for any Naija youth between 18 to 30 years for age to bring wetin Oyibo call civic project idea. That one means say any program wey you fit to do wey go make 5,000 youth register for this voters registration wey dey happen so, and wey go stop for June 30th, 2022. Dem go give 1 million naira to any person wey fit do am.
Agbára tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tí ó lé ní ọdún 18 ní. Èyí fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ láàyè láti mú ètò tí yóò wú àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ẹgbẹ́ wọn lórí láti fi orúkọ sílẹ̀ fún ìdìbò tí yóò wáyé ní ọdún 2023. Ètò yìí wà fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Adamawa, Benue, Enugu, FCT, Gombe, Imo, Kebbi, Lagos, Nasarawa, Ogun, Ondo, Plateau, Sokoto, Yobe àti ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara. kí wọ́n béèrè fún ohun tàbí ètò tí a lè gbé kalẹ̀ láti mú kí ọ̀dọ́ tí ó lé ní 5,000 tí ọjọ́ orí wọn ju ọdún 18 sí 30 ọdún lọ fi orúkọ sílẹ̀ fún ètò ìdìbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́ kí ó tó kásẹ̀ nílẹ̀ ní 30 oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2022 tí a wà yìí. Ẹni tí ó bá yege jù yóò gba mílíọ̀nù kan náírà láti ilé-iṣẹ́ Yiaga Africa àti àjọ UNDP fún gbígbé ètò náà kalẹ̀.
The Oga Patapata of Yiaga Africa, wey be Mr. Samson Itodo, bin say, Naija use plenty reach to choose person wey dem want for this election. If all of them come vote.
Can we channel all our energy? Can we channel all our resources to get more young people, to register and collect their PVCs? Because this is the final window that young people have.
E get some things where this project will achieve inside the whole waka. The first one now, to increase the number of youths wey go come vote for 2023 elections from 35.5% to 60%, wey be the 29 million young voters, as it will determine the next leaders for Naija. Another one na to help support young women and men wey like democracy well and other matter wey concern we country. Another one na make we all for join body with INEC, help make plenty people come vote, whether for internet or talk for mouth. Another one na to find way we go take help tell every youth to come vote, as them plenty so, and make them choose who go lead the country.
So I'm throwing the floor out now to our partners, friends, and the members of the press. Anyone who has a question, please indicate and then we'll answer.
I want Cynthia to talk about how UNDP and Yiaga Africa is seeking to collaborate with other women groups to achieve this, because I see there are a lot of civil society engagements that are aimed towards getting more people to vote.
Since Yiaga is in partnership with INEC, I don't know if Yiaga has its own system put in place to collect the electoral votes during the 2023 general election.
My question is to Samson. You said there will be bus scheme actually for this registration. My question is on the day of the election. If they have to use a bus scheme to register now, how then do they get to their polling booth? Are there plans on ground to also ensure they get there to vote on that day?
I'm so particular about security. Why are the youth not coming out? It should be our major focus. Why are they not coming out? Why are they always staying back? Why are they not ready to participate? If we are looking at strategies, those focal points should be the strategies we should come up with to make them come out. Because if I'm not secure coming out to vote, I'm sure that my vote will not count. And I don't know whether I will ever get back home safely. I wouldn't want to come out. We need to come up with a strategy as Yiaga and UNDP. Because when you are calling them to come out, they must be guaranteed that when you come out, this will be fine for you.
Just to add to what you said about security. The government is in charge of the security, in charge of the police, the army and everything. They can do whatever they like with the security. Is there an intervention in place? Will be a statutory intervention that will hold them accountable when there is mayhem?
How much have you budgeted for this project? Thank you.
The problem that we avoid on the day of election comes to us all year, but it comes like a monster. Kidnapping, killing, bombing, fighting, war. People are dying in hundreds, bad roads, hospitals. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. At a certain point, the person that has been avoiding election to be safe must ask himself, should I do something different? And in 2023, I'm hoping that we give ourselves sense and do the different thing, because safety is actually a real issue, but we need to do that in the right way.
Security is challenging, of course, but there is a global trend going on around the entire issue of insecurity, inflation. We see it, and it seems to me like the post-COVID or COVID in itself has unleashed a lot of problems globally. It's not only a Nigerian problem. But I take note on the issue of the challenges of security and elections, and it's one of the things we're doing UNDP. We have an interesting program with police. We're engaging very forcefully with government and the police to see what can be done to be able to secure the election.
In fact, this project is actually built on a study that Yiaga Africa conducted from the 2019 elections on the turnout for the elections, because we're interrogating, what the key drivers for low turnout at elections. And it might interest you to know that a lot of them isn't about the distrust in the system. That a lot of one of the major factors why people aren't turning out to vote is because of the failure of governance to deliver the promise of democracy. This is why a lot of people are not coming out to vote. And I want to urge us, yes, votes were not counting before, but we shouldn't neglect the fact that we've made significant progress in our electoral process. The introduction of technology has improved the transparency of the process.
Just very simple, that votes are beginning to count. And that is the message we call on our media partners to also put out there. If votes were not counting, politicians will not be buying votes. Once upon a time, you could rig elections by one person just rigging the system. But because votes are now counting, that is why they are now buying votes. And that is the new way or strategy to rig elections. So please, Nigerians, young Nigerians, do not think that the system is not getting better. It is getting better. The politicians know this. They tell us it's not getting better so that we stay away, so that a fewer number would come out and they can easily buy the votes. But if we come out in our numbers, it will be difficult to buy the votes of every voter registered to vote. So please, votes are beginning to count. The other question directed at me around women, that is a very important question. And if you follow the court decision, it was addressing appointive offices and the affirmative action decision by the court. And that was a landmark judgment for Nigerian women. And so there are two angles to this conversation. Beyond the engagement for advocacy, like engaging the legislature and the government. Under the 60% of us, we mentioned there's a women angle, the she votes. And the idea is to work with women initiatives to mobilize women to register and vote. Because we also want a lot of women to not just register, but to vote and begin to determine the outcome of the elections. So 60% of us is about young men, is about young women, is about young persons with disability. It's as inclusive as it gets. And there's a special project dedicated to just targeting women. Because the project, UNDP, Yiaga Africa and our partners, we are very biased and sentimental about women participation, and we will invest everything possible to not just get women to vote, but to also support initiatives that target supporting women candidacy.
Last, the 60% of us project will really focus well for places where people wey don't register no plenty, and for places where people wey never collect their PVC no plenty too, to make sure say every young person wey reach come vote for this 2023 election. Thank you now. My name again na Bills Victor.
Inside Africa Network, exploring Africa.